There's just something about this time of year. The leaves start to change, there's a chill in the air,
Yeah,
and suddenly we all want to be a little bit scared.
it's true.
Like our brains are craving spooky stories.
I think so, yeah.
Well, this week, we're really leaning into it.
Okay.
We're diving into an article called 10 Chilling Audiobooks Perfect for Halloween Nights.
Sounds good.
But we're going deeper than just a list.
Okay.
We want to uncover what makes these audiobooks so uniquely haunting.
Right.
Because anyone can throw in a jump scare,
Right.
but a story that really gets under your skin.
Yeah.
One that follows you home, lingers in your mind. That takes real craftsmanship.
It does.
The article starts with this really vivid image.
Okay.
A dark old house, the wind howling outside. Yeah, that instant feeling of unease you get when a story starts to pull you in.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever experienced that kind of bleed through while listening to an audiobook?
Oh, absolutely.
Where the line between fiction and reality gets a little blurry?
It's amazing how our imaginations can just take over.
Right.
Especially when it's all audio, no visuals.
Yes,
The narrator's voice becomes your whole world,
it really does.
drawing you deeper and deeper.
It's like you're adding your own layer of fear on top of an already scary story.
Exactly.
And this article, it doesn't mess around. It jumps right into some horror heavy hitters.
Yeah.
We're talking The Exorcist, Pet Cemetery, The Haunting of Hill House.
Classics.
Classics, the ones that define the genre.
Right.
What do you think it is about the audio format that elevates these stories?
Oh, it's huge.
Does sound amplify the fear
Yeah.
in a way that visuals just can't.
Think about it. A well-placed sound effect.
Yes.
A perfectly delivered line.
Chilling.
You're not just watching the character react.
It's so much more intimate.
You hear their heartbeat. You hear them gasp.
Right. Like you're plugged directly into their fear.
Exactly.
It's true, that visceral reaction is so powerful in audio.
It really gets under your skin.
And speaking of getting under your skin, let's talk about Shirley Jackson.
Oh, a fantastic choice.
The Haunting of Hill House.
A classic for a reason.
It's not just a haunted house, it's like the house itself is alive.
Yes. Hungry, almost.
Exactly.
Like it's a character.
How does she do that?
It's psychological.
Right.
Pure psychological suspense.
It gets in your head.
It's the way she zeroes in on the character's mind.
Yeah, their sanity is just unraveling.
Little by little, the house just presses in on them.
Oh, I know that scene where Eleanor touches the wall.
Yes.
And it's like ice cold.
Gives me chills just thinking about it.
Imagine that in an audiobook. A talented narrator could make that coldness
You'd feel it
real.
in your bones.
Okay, I'm gonna have to read that one again.
You should.
With all the lights on, though.
Probably wise.
Let's switch gears for a second.
Okay.
Let's talk about a different kind of horror.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
World War Z.
Oh, wow.
Zombies.
A classic.
But it's more than that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's told through these individual stories.
Like first-hand accounts.
Yeah, almost like found footage, but with audio.
Right, and that makes it so real.
Because that storytelling approach, especially in audio, make the horror hit harder.
When you hear those voices.
Yeah.
So desperate.
Recounting the end of the world.
It makes you think, what would I do?
It could happen.
Exactly. It stops being entertainment and becomes this terrifying possibility.
That's what makes those stories stick with you.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Those primal fears.
Deep down.
Speaking of primal fears, Bird Box.
Another great one.
What you can't see.
So much scarier.
Sound becomes everything.
It does.
How do you think an audiobook builds that suspense, that terror, when the monster is invisible?
It's all about suggestion.
Right.
Every little sound
Every creak, every whisper,
could be the end.
and those silences,
Brutal.
you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
You're holding your breath.
It's like you're being hunted, but you don't even know what's hunting you.
Exactly.
Terrifying.
Bird Box nails it.
So many horror stories use the open road as this backdrop for terror.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Maybe it's the vulnerability of being in transit.
Or the unknown up ahead.
Nader's 4A2, that's another one.
Oh, Joe Hill. He knows what he's doing.
A road trip to Christmas land.
Sounds innocent enough.
Yeah.
But we know better.
Trust me, this is not the Christmas land you want to visit.
Nope.
He blends horror and fantasy, like his dad.
Yeah, he's got that touch.
What is it about a road trip gone wrong?
It's the subversion.
What do you mean?
We think of road trips as freedom, escape.
Right.
But then he traps you
Oh, wow.
with your fears,
And hurtling towards.
your worst nightmare,
It's like taking something joyful.
and twisting it.
No more road trips for me.
I hear ya.
Sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that feel real.
Ooh, yeah.
The Amityville Horror,
Classic.
supposedly a true story.
Right.
What is it about true crime,
Ooh, good question.
especially in audio?
It breaks down that wall
Oh, wall.
between you and the story.
Oh, okay.
Suddenly, it could be you
Right.
in that house.
Experiencing those things
That intimacy of audio,
Yeah.
a voice right there in your ear.
makes it feel like it's happening to you,
Exactly.
even when you know it's probably embellished.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about adapting a story for audio.
Okay.
Lock and Key.
Interesting.
It started as a graphic novel.
Right. Very visual.
How do you capture that in audio?
It's a challenge for sure.
Right.
Sound becomes the visuals.
Oh, interesting.
The clinking of keys.
Oh, yeah. The keys are important.
The creaking house.
Setting the scene.
Whispers of magic.
You're building a world with sound.
Exactly.
It's almost like you're creating the visuals in your own head.
That's the beauty of it.
I love that.
Oh.
Okay, let's talk about a character who needs no introduction.
Oh, okay. Let me guess.
Hannibal Lecter.
Knew it.
He's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Incredibly.
Charming.
When he wants to be.
But a cannibal.
Don't forget that part.
What is it about him that still terrifies us?
He's the monster next door.
What do you mean?
You'd never suspect him.
Until it's too late.
He could be anyone.
And in an audiobook,
Oh, it's chilling.
you hear that voice.
That subtle shift.
From Charming.
It's menacing.
It's like he's whispering right to you.
Sharing his secrets.
Okay, we can't talk horror without mentioning Stephen King.
The king.
The article highlights it and Pet Sematary.
Two of his best.
Why do these stories endure?
He gets us,
What do you mean?
he knows our deepest fears.
Like what?
It preys on childhood fears.
Oh, yeah.
The unknown.
Monsters in the closet.
Pennywise.
Don't even get me started on Pennywise.
He can be anything you fear.
So smart.
And then there's Pet Cemetery.
Oh, man.
Grief, loss, death.
Cheating death never ends well.
It's primal.
And in audio.
It's visceral.
How
You're not just reading it,
Yeah.
you're hearing it.
experiencing it.
Like you're right there.
It's true. He doesn't hold back.
Not at all.
And hearing those details in an audiobook,
Oh, it's a whole other level.
like you're right there in the middle of it all.
The worst of it.
The article wraps up by mentioning a free trial on Audible.
Convenient.
Right.
Yeah.
But it does make you think, why do we do this to ourselves?
Good question.
Why do we seek out these terrifying stories?
It's a bit of a puzzle, isn't it?
What is it about horror,
Wow.
especially in these immersive audio dramas?
I think at its core, it's about control.
Control.
Yeah, we confront our fears,
Okay.
but in a safe way.
I see.
Like a controlled dose of adrenaline,
So we can face the darkness.
and come out the other side.
We need that reminder sometimes.
We do.
It's more than just a cheap thrill.
Oh, absolutely.
There's something deeper there.
Horror reflects our anxieties.
Oh, interesting.
Things that scare us as a society.
A mirror.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
And there's comfort in that, too.
No,
Knowing you're not alone in those fears.
that's true. We're all a little messed up inside as we head into Halloween,
The best time for it.
surrounded by pumpkins and fake cobwebs.
And spooky stories.
What is it about this genre that calls to you?
That's a tough one.
Is it the adrenaline,
Maybe a little.
the psychological thrills,
For sure.
or maybe, just maybe,
Oh,
it's the reminder that even in the darkest stories,
yeah.
there's always a glimmer of hope.
A little light in the darkness.
Even if that light is just turning on all the lamps after you finish the audiobook.
Every little bit helps.
Until next time, happy listening,
And sweet dreams.
or as sweet as they can be.